Hi folks, in this video I'm going to go over the basics of AreaZoom so you can get a sense of all of its features. There are other tutorials that take a deeper dive into some specific features, but after watching this video you should be able to jump right in and start finding excellent real estate properties for sale in whatever neck of the woods you're looking for. AreaZoom goes way above and beyond when it comes to evaluating and analyzing property data, giving you access to deeply comprehensive data that would take weeks to get otherwise. It gives it to you in a heartbeat, and it allows you to easily organize your leads, make notes, and share this comprehensive data with others on your team in mere seconds. It's really a revolution in collecting, organizing, and sharing property data and market analysis. So let's jump right in here and I'll show you what it is and how it works. First of all, even without registering or logging in, you can still type in any address here and instantly get access to its details, including its value price, property type and size, the year it was built, and so on. It gives you the AreaZoom Value Estimates graph, an extremely powerful tool unlike any other, showing you how your selected property compares to similar properties in the area, a comparative market analysis. This is all integrated with Google Maps, and you can switch to satellite view. You can drag this little guy in to get a specific street view, and so on. But let's go one step further here and register for AreaZoom to unlock many more features. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Just enter your email address, password, and confirm, and you'll instantly receive a confirmation email. Just click on the link to confirm and log in. Now, let's type in that same address again. And let's zoom out in our browser a little bit so we can get the most out of this layout. We recommend about 70% zoom level so we can see more of the map. So before we get into all of the features we have to organize and share all the data you find here, let's take a look at what data you're getting. For years and years, here's the way it's typically been done. Let's say a realtor is studying a particular property. They get data from a multiple listing service, and they might want to compare properties of a similar size in the local market. Then they try to compare them and get a CMA, or comparative market analysis, by looking at other properties that typically have been sold in the last 6 months. And they'll get analysis data similar to this. They take the averages of the sold properties and adjust for conditions or specific property features. Since it's very rare for different agents to come up with the exact same price, the realtor comes up with a discretionary price. In fact, let's say there are 3 agents. One will come up with a moderate price, another a more conservative price, and the third will come up with an aggressive price. All of this is unbeknownst to the consumer. The results are almost always going to vary. So this is typically the way data is aggregated, and the results are very rudimentary and actually not very reliable. That is to say, all 3 estimates here are valid, but there's no other information before or after this aggregation. Now think about it, no one in the scientific world would ever settle for this. 2 variables, square footage and price, and just a single point of information on the data. But again, this is how it's been done for years. Now let's show you what we're doing at AreaZoom. AreaZoom gives you a much more accurate, comprehensive, and scientific approach to evaluation. Like if NASA went to Mars to buy property, they'd want to know as much information as possible. The old way just wouldn't cut it. So at AreaZoom, we create a multiple market evaluation within a radius of a property, and use specific square foot increments to plot the maximum number of data points on a graph. By performing this curvilinear regression, we get sound data across the graph, which will give you a much better indication of the base value of a property. And you can determine the square foot increments you'd like to base the data on. For instance, if we run the data in 100 square foot increments, we're going to get 13 data points here for this particular property. If we run the data in 10 square foot increments, we're going to get many more data points here. All of this can be determined by you to get a clear as picture as you want on a specific property. In this case, we can see that the property estimated value is, of course, far higher than what it was sold for about 3 years ago. And compared to all the other surrounding properties, it looks like the current estimated value is still very conservative compared to other properties in the area. So again, here's the comparative market analysis that an agent typically has to look at, with huge holes in the data. And here's what AreaZoom gives you. We take every sold property within the radius you set into account, and what would take 8 or 9 hours to generate, we do it with 1 click. Now, while agents often do outstanding work, they can only work with the information they have. And until now, it's been almost next to impossible to be able to generate this much data. AreaZoom generates this data in a heartbeat and plots all the data points on a graph for you to see a specific property in a much more detailed context than ever before. Each of these data points is a CMA for that square footage. So instead of getting just one snapshot of a property, AreaZoom gives a panoramic view of the entire neighborhood and its property values. And again, you can customize this graph according to the criteria you'd like to focus on. We can set the AreaZoom analysis to within half, 1, 1.5, or a 2-mile radius of the property in question. You can choose how many comp properties you'd like to have show up in the column here, and if you review them and want to eliminate them from your comps, just click the X to get rid of them, and AreaZoom will instantly redo the evaluation with those properties removed. And you can set the square foot increments you'd like the graph to plot point here. You can customize this in whatever way works for you, and AreaZoom will give you the analysis you're looking for in seconds. So, that's the data you can get from AreaZoom. Deeply comprehensive data that you can understand at a glance. Now let's move on to the AreaZoom interface and see how easy it is to organize and share this data.